Hey guys, what's up? It's Marco, and today I'm going to be reviewing Logan. Let's get started. So it's been said that Logan will be Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart's final X-Men film as Wolverine and Professor Xavier, and I can't think of a more perfect send-off for the two of them. I mean, I know it's been said to death already, but Logan is one of the best X-Men movies of all time, and definitely the best Wolverine movie of all time. That's probably due in large part to the fact that this movie isn't really tied down to any of the other X-Men continuities, and it works entirely on its own. This movie is set far enough in the future we could just ignore all the previous X-Men movies because they don't really have any bearing on it all, and you could go into the movie with just the most basic knowledge of all these characters, but you definitely shouldn't go into this movie expecting your usual superhero movie. It's not typical at all. Logan is grittier than sandpaper, and it definitely deserved its R rating. I mean, there are limbs flying off, there's skulls getting blown up, and claws impaling heads like it's nobody's business. This is amazing, but it's very tastefully done, and I'm not talking about the violence, but overall the movie, it feels like it's very somber, and Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart played off more like two retired gunslingers past their prime rather than two X-Men, which works really well with this movie for some reason. This just feels like a natural progression for these characters that we've gotten to know for 17 years of X-Men movies, but it's still a very nice adaptation of Hawkeye and Wolverine's relationship in Old Man Logan. Speaking of Old Man Logan, this isn't like a one-to-one direct translation of Old Man Logan because they just couldn't possibly get all the Marvel characters from Old Man Logan into this story, but it does take some of the best parts of that series and brings them into this movie. And it's apparent throughout the film that Logan takes heavy influences from classic Hollywood westerns. Now, before production began on Logan, Hugh Jackman went to Twitter and asked all the fans what they wanted to see in his final X-Men movie, and one of the biggest things was Old Man Logan, but the second biggest was X-23, and this film is the cinematic debut of X-23, and I'm so glad that they pulled this off just right because X-23 is one of my favorite Wolverine characters, and I'm so glad that they didn't butcher her origins like most Fox movies do. There's some tweaks here and there, but more or less the origin is intact. She's still the same character from the X-Men Evolution series and the 2004 X-23 miniseries, and surprisingly the young actress who played X-23 did a phenomenal job. It was exceptional for a child actress, and you know, most kid actors, they really don't get their lines right. They have sloppy delivery or they just keep staring at the camera. This little girl did like a really amazing job playing a silent killer, and you can tell she probably had a lot of fun going around murdering stuntmen on the set of the movie. And before I go any further, I'm just gonna put a spoiler warning out there already. Like, if you don't want any spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie yet, go to this time code right here. But if you have seen the movie or you just don't care about spoilers, just keep listening and I'll give you a second to just get yourself adjusted. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Man, that Deadpool scene was so amazing. Not Deadpool in the movie, but that Deadpool opening, the little preview for Deadpool 2. That was unexpected and surprising, and I loved it so much. It was like 3 minutes of a preview kind of, and like a minute and a half of that was spent just Ryan Reynolds changing in a telephone booth. Like, what the hell? And yeah, that'll keep me satisfied until Deadpool 2 comes out, whenever that's gonna be. Alright, but anyway, on to some serious Logan spoilers. This movie takes place just shortly after that Days of Future Past ending, where we saw everyone all happy and alive. Well, guess what? All the X-Men are dead now, and it's mostly Professor Xavier's fault. He didn't intend to kill them. A lot like in the Old Man Logan future where Wolverine accidentally kills the X-Men, Professor Xavier accidentally killed all the X-Men with his mind. He was having a seizure and Logan was the only survivor, and he's been living with Professor Xavier in this run-down Mexican little factory. It's probably the saddest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Charles Xavier has always been a strong father figure in the X-Men films, so seeing him like this is just soul-crushing. He is the world's most powerful telepath, and now in his old age, his mind is betraying him. It's just tragic. And also, at a certain point in the film, I was expecting the secret X-24 to be Daken, Wolverine's evil son, but it just turned out to be some kind of Wolverine clone, and that was a little bit disappointing. I mean, I can understand why the decision was made, but I would have totally settled for a Sabretooth clone instead, or just straight up Daken. But there's no denying how epic it was when X-23 pulverized the evil Wolverine during the film's climax. Even though the third act was brought down by the inclusion of the X-Kids and a strange reveal that the mutant race was wiped out by corn syrup. Actually, throughout the film there are a few political undertones involving illegal immigration, human rights, and the consequences and dangers of processed foods, but I'm not really going to get into that in this video. It's just kind of there in the movie. But corn syrup aside, the film's ending does have a pretty satisfying action sequence for Wolverine. The whole movie, Logan's getting beat around and he's never at his full strength, but thanks to a healing factor serum, he juices up and enters into berserker rage. Unfortunately, this is Hugh Jackman's last stand as the Wolverine, and by the film's end, we do see the death of the character. I feel like Logan handled the death of Wolverine way better than the comics, because he didn't die in some ridiculous accident resulting in his body being covered in hardened adamantium. Instead, he just dies of severe injuries after his healing factor just runs out. He dies a hero's death, and that's all we, the fans, can ask for. I did miss a few points in this little summary, like Logan's gradual bonding with his daughter X-23, the group's slight detour through a family farm, and of course Professor Xavier's death at the hands of the evil Wolverine clone. But if you want a more in-depth discussion about the movie, we will have a spoiler cast that we'll be posting in the next few days, and you can definitely check that out if you want. But for right now, that's gonna be all the spoilers in this video. Now, Logan is definitely darker and grittier than most superhero movies out today. It's like the Dark Knight Returns of X-Men films, and it's a perfect finale for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I know this film's success will most likely inspire a lot of film studios and a lot of executives to go with darker interpretations of heroes, but I don't think that's really gonna work for every superhero. Characters like Superman and Spider-Man wouldn't really benefit from this darker dystopian storyline, but for Wolverine it just kind of works. Logan is a character who has just a dark past and a dark history, so it's obvious that he would have a dark future. This is a very powerful finale to Fox's Wolverine franchise, and it's very earned. Over the past few years, Wolverine has kind of been building up to this. This is the only logical conclusion for him. Fox has a tendency to just ruin all the X-Men franchises, but this one actually got better over time. From Origins all the way to Logan, this trilogy has just continually gotten better. Now maybe someday, when Marvel gets the rights back to the X-Men, Hugh Jackman can return to the role and play an even older Old Man Logan alongside Laura Kinney's Wolverine. But even if that day never comes, I'll still be very glad with Logan, because it's a damn good movie and it definitely deserves 4.5 out of 5 stars. So there you have it. That's gonna be it for this review. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and comment down below. You can also subscribe to the channel for more great content, and remember to turn on notifications to be alerted whenever we upload a new video. You can also check out our future spoiler cast on Logan whenever that comes out. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, guys. Peace.